Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. I'm going to be doing a get ready with me style video to prepare for Thanksgiving. If you live in America, Thanksgiving is in a couple weeks, so I wanted to get this posted now so that you have time to maybe curate the same type of look in your life, or if you want to go out and buy a similar sweater or outfit option, or you just have ideas that you have time to do that. Also, no pressure to buy anything ever from my videos or use any of my ideas. It's just a fun thing for me to do. I like planning for my holidays, decor, makeup, outfits, all of it. So if you want to see how I created this makeup look and a couple of outfit choices that I pulled from my closet for Thanksgiving this year, then just keep watching. All right, so let's get started. I already primed, so I used my Milk Eyelid Primer, and there's still quite a bit left in here, but I don't know if you can tell, like we've got a lot empty too, like it's getting pretty empty. So it's kind of to the point. I do like the applicator that is the doe foot, but it's getting harder to like get it. Like it actually doesn't reach all the way up to the tip. Like the doe foot stops like here. So that's kind of frustrating, but I think eventually I'll be able to just cut it open and get the rest of it out. But this has been going strong for a long time, and it's my only eyeshadow primer, so I like it and I think it works. I got it at TJ Maxx or Marshalls, so I did not pay full price for this, and I don't think I would pay full price for it because it's expensive. I want to try the Milani one at some point. I've heard good things about that. I've never had it. And then I primed with my Power Grip Primer because this is in my Shop My Stash right now, so I'm just trying to get some more use out of that this time of year. So for eyes, I decided to pull out two palettes that I really have not used a ton in recent months, because if you've been following me, I'm doing my eyeshadow project pan, so I kind of focus pretty heavily on the 5 shadows and those palettes every month, but I wanted to pull out ones that I felt like were really fall and Thanksgiving-y. So I pulled out my Alter Ego Sahara palette. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Biba palette, I believe. So this is what this looks like. I did hit pan in this darker shade as part of my project earlier in the year, but I just feel like that's such pretty fall Thanksgiving vibes. And then I also pulled out my New Moon palette from ColourPop. I need to look if you can still get this. I think you can still find it. But this is kind of a different fall vibe. So this has got more browns and this has more like orangey, red, yellow. So I kind of thought together it would be fun to use these because I really haven't dipped into the New Moon one, but like a handful of times. So that's what we're gonna start with. So I think I'm gonna start in the New Moon palette, and I'm gonna use this shade up here called Marry Me as a crease shade. So I know I've done some Get Ready With Me for Thanksgiving videos in the past, and my Thanksgiving is pretty casual. Like we don't get super dressed up or anything. It's just family. And it depends year to year where I spend Thanksgiving. My husband and I live in Nashville, and all of my in-laws, so his family all lives here as well. And then my family lives a couple hours away. So we just kind of decide year to year, are we going to stay in town and do it with the in-laws, or are we going to go to my family? Last year, my parents actually came here and we spent Thanksgiving with them and my in-laws, and that was really nice. Even though my husband and I have been married for a number of years, our parents really haven't spent a lot of time together because they just don't live in the same place. So that was kind of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna darken the outer corner with the Sahara palette, and I think I'm going to use, I think I'm gonna go a little more red. So I think I'm gonna use this color called Sierra. This like reddish one in the middle. So we're just gonna do that very lightly. So the plan this year is to go to my parents. And again, it's really not that big of a deal. It's just a couple hours away, but it's far enough to where it is like an overnight, which is fine. And my parents live in the same town or the same city where I grew up. They just don't live in the same house anymore. They have moved since my sister and I have moved out. So, but it's always nice to go and just have a casual time. So we're gonna go do that and maybe do a little bit of shopping while we're there. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, So that looks smoky. Let's see. So for all over the lid, we have a couple of options for like a shimmer. Well, I think I'm gonna start with the Biba palette, and we're gonna use this shade up here, Mirage. And we're gonna do that very lightly all over the lid, and then I might go over it with something else from New Moon. Because it is like a lighter shimmer, but I want that to kind of lighten the look. But yeah, so then the only thing that makes it difficult about traveling, even though it's so close, is then I don't know what I can like make to bring. Because I think we haven't fully decided yet if we're gonna go up the Wednesday before Thanksgiving and spend the night and be there Thanksgiving morning, or if we're gonna wait and go Thanksgiving morning, because in the past, traffic has been really light Thanksgiving morning, so sometimes that is nice. Okay, so now we're gonna top that. I'm gonna go into the New Moon palette and I'm gonna use this middle shade at the top called Wolfpack. But yeah, so like I wanna contribute something. I just don't know what I can make ahead of time that will kind of last, or if I'll have time. If I'm gonna make something when I get there, I have very limited time. But last year I made what did I make? A whipped feta dip that had like honey, and I think you could put like other toppings on. You could do like pumpkin seeds or pecans or walnuts or something. I just kept it smooth and then just had some like toasted bread and crackers, because I just kind of was thinking, you know, I feel like there's just an overwhelming amount of food when you go to Thanksgiving sometimes, but like everybody gets there kind of on their own time. And so then you have this like 30 to 45 minutes of like mingle time where you're like, okay, is everybody here yet? Is the turkey done? Maybe you're waiting on something. And so I was like, let's have like an appetizer so you can kind of be munching while we're waiting for everything to kind of finish up. And I think it went over really well with my in-laws. So I might try that again this year with my side of the family and see if they like that. Okay, so that's the what was it, Moonlight? Wolfpack shade in the middle. I think I'm gonna go back in to the Mirage shade and just do a little bit more on the inner corner to kind of differentiate but make that pop. Yeah, I would be interested to hear what people's different like Thanksgiving traditions are, or like what kind of food is part of your traditional Thanksgiving, because I am in the South, and so we like our turkey, but we also sometimes will have ham, like a honey baked ham. And then in years past, we've had a deep fried turkey, we've had a smoked turkey, and it's all been really good. And then we always have, like, there's the difference of stuffing and dressing. I personally don't care for either. But there's that, you know, differentiation, and some people feel very strongly one way or the other. We usually have mashed sweet potatoes, which I don't like sweet potatoes. I prefer regular potatoes. And then we usually have some sort of like green bean or green bean casserole. Again, I don't like the casserole. I'm sounding very picky. I just kind of like things simple. Like I just want regular mashed potatoes. I want regular green beans. I want like a regular salad. Although my mom has made like a Mediterranean salad or something before that's been really good. It's nice to have something like refreshing on the table when there's so much heavy food, especially with Southern cooking. So yeah, I think having like a salad, or like I said, doing like that whipped feta dip as the appetizer, which is chilled, like sometimes it's nice to just have something cold. So I'm gonna go into, do both of these palettes have a black? They do. I guess I'll use the New Moon one just since I haven't really used this a ton. I'm gonna go into this black shade Soul Reader. I'm trying to remember if that's part of Twilight movies. Whatever. And I'm just gonna use that to line my eyes. I want it to be kind of like a soft line. So let me do that and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's the black liner. So like it's still very defined, but I feel like it's softer than if I just did like a black felt tip pen. But I think that is the eyes. It's definitely kind of intense, but I think that's like a good color scheme for this time of year. And I just really wanted to use these two palettes that I hadn't used in a while. So now let's move on to face. I have two foundations to choose from. I have my Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator, which I've been using because it's been in my Shop My Stash. And honestly, I feel like I've used so much of this. I guess this isn't the biggest bottle. It's 0.91 fluid ounces, so it's not even 1 fluid ounce. But you can already see there's like some windowing happening, and I feel like this is pretty new to me. But I do have a brand new foundation. I guess this is a foundation. It is the Maybelline Eraser, like the big one. I've used the under eye one a bunch and I really liked that for a long time. And then I think the last one I had, I just had it for a really long time and maybe it was expired, but it kind of started irritating a little bit under my eyes. So I don't know what that was about, but this was on clearance. Last time I was at the store for like $6. So I was like, what the heck? This looks like a pretty good shade match for me. So maybe we will just try this today. How do you open it? Turn slowly and lift. Nope. Okay, so it's brand new, so that would be helpful if I actually took the packaging off. So now you can take the lid off, and then it's just like the other one where you just twist. I feel like you always have to twist a lot when you're first trying this out, but the thing I do like about the twist ones is then you are like getting everything out of there. So I feel like it is possible to completely use up the product, because that is one of my pet peeves. If you saw my most recent Project Pan update, my Tarte Juicy Lip Pen, it's twisted up as far as it will go, but there was still like a ton of product in there. So in my makeup chores video that I posted last week, the week before, I dug out the extra. But I know in the past when I've used the concealer version of this, it does twist up like everything that's in there. Okay, so I'm actually really excited to try this out because like I said, I like the under eye concealer so much that there's just something intriguing about using the like super large version. And I just used the sponge that was on there. I know over time that is a concern that becomes not very sanitary, but I think it will be okay for the first few uses. And I mean, hey, considering that I bought this on clearance, I actually feel like this shade match is not too terrible. Maybe a tad light, but I would rather buy something foundation-wise that's a little lighter than too dark, because I feel like you can always kind of warm it up with powder or bronzer, but if it's already too dark, it just looks really weird if you then try to like put concealer on top. So but let's see. I don't feel like that gave me coverage per se. I do have a couple of dark spots right now. I keep getting like acne on my cheeks, and it's so frustrating because as a teenager, I got pretty bad acne, but I never got it like here. I always got it on my forehead and like around my nose. And so now as an adult, getting it on my cheeks, I'm like very confused. And I don't like it. And I feel like the skin on my cheek is just like more sensitive. So I feel like even if I use like a pimple patch, which the ones I use are the COSRX ones, I'll link those below. I think those really, really work. It's still like, even if I don't touch it or whatever, I still feel like it just is more prone to leaving dark spots for a while. And then I haven't really found a super great product for like actually getting rid of dark spots. So if you have a suggestion, let me know. I have tried I'm currently using the like Murad dark spot corrector, and that stuff was freaking expensive. It was like 80 something dollars for that bottle, and I use it every single day, and I really don't know if it's making a difference. I do my concealer, it's the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer. I've also had the Good Molecules dark spot serum, and I wanted to try that because it's way cheaper. It's like the Murad one's like $80. The Good Molecules one is like $12. But again, I just don't feel like I see anything significant happening. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. I remember back in the day, I should look up if they even still make this. I had the Clinique like dark spot corrector serum. That was also pretty expensive from what I remember, like $60 or $70. And that was like 10 years ago. So if it still exists, I'm sure it's like $100 now. But I do kind of remember that working pretty well because I used to have, I mean, you can still see I have some texture on my forehead, but I used to, since I got my acne on my forehead, I would get like really bad scarring. And so I feel like that has definitely, like it made sure that those did not stay dark spots. It evens that out, but I don't know. So if you have any suggestions or info, let me know. I'd really appreciate that. I do go to a dermatologist. I just go my one time a year, and she has prescribed me with just like facial pads, which if you know me, you know that I don't love that they are one use, so they're disposable. But since it's a prescription, I am willing to do those for a while. And I do think they get more gunk off my skin because I will use them after I've done like, because most days I like double or triple cleanse anyway. I do, if I'm in the shower, I will do like a cleansing balm and then wash my face with my face wash, which I'm using the Cetaphil one, or is it CeraVe? One of those, they're kind of the same to me, that my dermatologist also recommended that to get at the drugstore instead of doing like a prescription face wash. That's overkill. And then when I get out of the shower, before I do my skincare at night, I do a micellar water to just get the rest of the stuff off. And then after that, as part of my skincare nighttime routine, I'll do that toner, like, or whatever it is, cleansing toner pad that she has prescribed. And even that, sometimes more stuff will come off and I'm like, geez, like it's really getting some stuff. So I think that's good and it's helping keep my skin cleaner. But you know, the acne, of course, they always say it's not necessarily bacterial related. It can be hormones, all kinds of things. So just trying to like drink a lot of water. I do wear makeup like every day, so I make sure I cleanse, like really cleanse my face before I go to bed. I used to be really bad about not always washing my face before bed, but now it's like a must. So that's that. So that's what the concealer, we did not blend over here, Sarah. That's what happens when you're talking. Normally I'm not talking while I'm doing my makeup every day, so it's much harder to miss what we're doing. Okay, so I will say, like, I feel like the coverage that gave me was like light. I wouldn't even say light to medium, I would say light. But I do feel like it kind of evened out a little bit. And I think this color, I got color 118. It doesn't have like a name to the color, it's just 118. But I do think that color is a pretty decent match for me right now. It will definitely be too light once we get into like spring, summer, but for winter, I think this is good. So now we'll just do a little bit of powder. And I like to use my e.l.f. pressed powder. I have this in the shade neutral, light neutral. I like to use this for any extra coverage. And so I've just been doing that. Like I have a couple spots on my chin right now. So I just kind of do it over the areas where maybe I do feel like it's still a little uneven, or I've got those dark spots or some acne. And I feel like it just kind of helps really set the concealer that I put over there and adds maybe a little bit of extra coverage. I usually do it on my nose because it wipes off a lot there. So then for powder, I'm just gonna do my combo that I've been doing like the whole year basically. It's the light powder from my Hourglass palette, and then I just mix it with my CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder, which in my makeup tours video last week as well, I repressed the CoverGirl powder because we were getting to the point where everything was on the edges and we couldn't get it with the brush as easily. We'll just do a light dusting all over the face to kind of set that in, including under the eyes. Yeah, okay, so I feel like I got off topic. I was talking about Thanksgiving for a while. But there's also something funny now, like as an adult and just as times changed, that like Black Friday used to be such a big thing. And like, I know it still is, but you can just get everything online now. So it's just, I'm kind of glad that that went away, but at the same time, I'm like, I do need to get some presents on sale and I don't even know where to look anymore because is a Black Friday sale even a good deal anymore? Like, does anybody else feel that way? I see things going sale and I'm like, okay, so you made everything 30% off. Like, that's really not great. Like, I'm remembering when Black Friday was like, get this like 70% off. So I don't know, maybe I'm just being too nostalgic or too unrealistic for this world right now, but to me, I'm just like, that's not a good sale. All right, so let's do some blush and bronzer now. I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer in the shade 1. This is still pretty light, and I think I said the last time in a video when I did to get ready with me, I probably should have just gotten the next shade up because this is like barely showing up, but I'm gonna use it because I bought it. And it is nice. It is nice and airbrushed. Looking like it does blend super easy. And it's kind of like, it reminds me, I used to have this one from, oh gosh, was it Essence? I don't even think they make it anymore. But it was the kind where I was like, you could pile it on and pile it on and it never looked bad. Like it blended out really well. It never got like splotchy. And so I do feel like this does have those qualities, which is really nice. And even though it's expensive, it's good for someone who maybe doesn't have a lot of time for their makeup or a beginner. Like the blendability is really nice. So I will say that about that. And then I'm gonna do a cream blush and then top it with a powder. So I'm gonna use one of my Merit blushes. This is in the shade Fox, and I just feel like it is a really pretty, like darker shade for this time of year. And this is a mini size that I've had for quite a while, but I really like the Merit blushes. So I'm definitely open to trying some more. I bought another one this year that I have been loving as well. So it definitely has set the bar high for what I expect out of them going forward. So that's really pretty. So back to Thanksgiving, I also have a fun time this month watching like Thanksgiving themed TV episodes. And it's one of those things where like not every series has Thanksgiving episodes. Everyone has like Halloween or Christmas, but not everybody has Thanksgiving. So some of my all-time favorites for Thanksgiving episodes, Friends, obviously. I think almost every season has a Thanksgiving episode, except maybe like one. And then of course, I always enjoy a Gossip Girl Thanksgiving episode. Like those episodes, epic, iconic. Like stuff went down in those episodes. If you were watching the series as a whole, like they are just like drama filled, fill in so many pieces to like what's going on. Like they are good. And they just have like that Thanksgiving-y vibe. Like, I don't know. I feel like we skip over Thanksgiving so much in this country. So I love that those two TV episodes exist. I really like The Middle. I know that is really random. If you have never watched that show, it is hilarious. But they have Thanksgiving episodes, I think every season as well. Like I watch their holiday episodes for every holiday. Like I just watched all the Halloween ones before Halloween. They have Thanksgiving ones, they have Christmas ones. Those ones, they're hilarious. Some of my all-time favorites. And then I'll usually just like kind of search other shows that I like, other little sitcoms that have them, like, you know, Modern Family, Big Bang Theory. Sometimes we'll have some sort of Christmassy or Thanksgiving themed episode. It might not be every season, but even if it's just like a one here or there, Superstore, just any of those shows, it's just a really fun time to watch. Okay, so we blended that together. That looks good. I'm gonna go off camera and do my eyebrows and mascara. I'm just gonna use my typical combo. I've been using my Hourglass Unlocked mascara and then my e.l.f. pencil, which is like almost done. That's it. Do that and then some brow gel and then we'll be back to do the lips. All right, so that is with the mascara and the brows. I feel like I say it every time I do a Get Ready With Me. Just doing that mascara, I feel like always really brings the look together. So now for the lips, I already lined my lips because it's just so hard for me to do that on camera without feeling really awkward. But I used my Naked 2 lip liner from Urban Decay, the 24/7 pencil. And I just like that it's kind of a more like brown pink because that's kind of the color vibe I'm going for. So I'm also going to use, this is the lip combo. I've got a lip liner, a lipstick, and kind of like a gloss topper. So we've done the lip liner. Now I'm gonna do a lipstick. This is from the ColourPop Friends collab many years ago. This is the shade Rachel, but I think some dupes that are out there that would be really similar to this would be like the Revlon lipstick in the color Raisin, I think is really similar, I've seen, or like the Maybelline, there's like a Maybelline one that maybe is like cold brew or double shot or something like that. They're all like coffee names. But I've seen those in store and I do think they're really similar. But we're gonna do this so you can see it's just like that 90s, 2000s color. Which it's kind of dark, but I feel like that really works with this look. Yeah, that's really pretty. And then to top it, I'm gonna use my Maybelline Vinyl ink in the shade Cheeky. I've always said the vinyl ink, I'm so confused by what it is because it's not like super glossy, but then it doesn't dry down like a liquid lipstick. It's like in between, it's very confusing. Yeah, that's really pretty. Okay, so that lip combo I am really liking. That might have to become like a fall winter staple in the next few weeks. Okay, so that is the makeup look. And now we're going to pick out an outfit. I think I'm gonna do two outfit choices. One's gonna be super casual and one's gonna be like mid casual. So jeans for both, but I'm gonna change out the top. So let me go get one of those on and I can walk you through my concept for outfits. So before we go into the details of the actual clothes of the outfit, I wanted to share the smaller accessories first, because I think those can really bring a look together and kind of create more of like the style around the clothing pieces. So first, I'm gonna talk about my nails. This set is probably my all-time favorite set I have ever tried. Just the color, the finish, the length, the shape, everything. Like I want to buy this like 5 more times so that I have this set for like a very long time to come. So this is from Glamnetic, and they are my favorite press-on nails. They can be a little pricey at times, but if you use my link down below, this is not sponsored, but if you use my link down below, it will save you 20% off of $50 or more. And I believe you do have to buy maybe the nails that don't say new next to them. So that's the only caveat. I'm not 100% sure, but I would test that out to be safe, but it'll be auto applied at your checkout if you spend over $50, which is not hard to do on these nails. If you just buy a couple sets, it'll put you over $50, but I think they are well worth it. This is called Magnetic Moscow, and I just love the iridescence, the chrome, and that it's like a brownish red. I think that is perfect for this time of year. This is also the short almond length, and this is perfect for me. I've gotten like the medium almond before, and that's like teetering on too long for me. But there are just so many great designs and colors and sets on there, and it is way cheaper than going to the salon and getting your nails done. I think the glue that it comes with works pretty well. I also have bought the soak off oil. I'll link that below as well, that you can get that kind of helps get them off a little easier. So yeah, and they are reusable. So what I usually do is once I'm done wearing a set, which this will last me like 2 weeks, like it's a decent length of time for press-on nails. Usually if I get like the Kiss or whatever from the drugstore for way cheaper, they last like a week before they all just kind of start popping off. These last me longer. So once I soak them off, I have like a little nail drill that I use for like my cuticles and things, but you can kind of grind some of the dried glue off the back of the nail and then you can totally reuse them. There's one set I have, I think I might have just finally called it quits on it. It was the confetti tip set. I'll link that below as well. It's really cute for spring and summer. I think I reused that set 4 times before finally having to call it quits, but they work really well. They look really good and professional. I have had people comment when I'm wearing Glamnetic nails before. They're my favorite. So again, not sponsored, but I just love them so much and I think that they really work. So I wanted to share that. And then for jewelry, most of my jewelry is from Amazon, so it is affordable. So let's see. So this top stud and then my third hold, those are both from Uncommon James, which it is more pricey, but out of all the like mid-range jewelry places that I bought from, Uncommon James is the only one that has never tarnished or broken or like rubbed off or turned green. Some of the other ones like Electric Picks and stuff like those ones just tarnish regardless of how much it is or no matter what they say. So that's kind of disappointing. But the Uncommon James ones have done really well for me over the years. I have purchased multiple pieces of jewelry from her and it's all been beautiful and held up really well. But these little knot studs are from Amazon, as are my triangle hoops. My necklace is just a simple pendant, gold, and then my bracelets, this actually comes in a set of 6, but I usually just wear 3 or 4 at a time because they're all different sizes. I like those. And then I just wear some simple rings that I got from a local boutique. But I think just keeping the jewelry simple and dainty kind of helps, but also I'm a gold jewelry person, so that's what I like. But now I'm going to show you my first outfit option and kind of tell you what it is, and then I'll switch to my kind of like dressier one. Okay, so for the first outfit, I'm just wearing jeans, like a white camisole, or you could do this like as a little jumpsuit, and then just this overlay jacket, which I got from Amazon maybe like a year or 2 ago. It comes in a couple different colors of plaid, but I just like that this one was kind of a little more camel and black and not so much like red orange. So that's my first top choice. And then for my shoes, I'm just wearing these slide-on mules from Steve Madden, and they have like a little gold buckle on them. I got these at Nordstrom in the Nordstrom sale a couple years ago, and they've held up really well, and they're just really cute and simple. Of course, you could do some booties if it's colder where you are. It's never super cold at Thanksgiving for me. But yeah, just a simple casual outfit, but we still feel put together. So that's outfit number 1. So let me show you my choice for number 2. All I'm doing is changing the top layers. So if you wanted to look a little dressier but still have the jeans, I have on this kind of nicer tank top. It's sleeveless and it has this like lace collar, V-neck. I got this from Amazon. I've seen similar ones at other stores like Target and even Walmart, but it was definitely cheapest on Amazon, and I have it in a couple different colors. I have it in this white, I have a black, and then I have like a pink color. You could also kind of do the front tuck if you're a millennial like me and you just love a front tuck. And then this longer cardigan, color block cardigan, is from Madewell a couple years ago. Again, I got this in the Nordstrom sale maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I feel like even if this exact color scheme is not available, I feel like they always have some sort of color block cardigan available. But I know Madewell is a little too pricey for some people, and literally I only bought it because it was on sale. So a more affordable option, you could get some sort of chunky cardigan. This one is from Target, the Universal Threads line, and it kind of is, I mean, it's looser, so it's a little more casual, but again, you've got that nicer top on, and it's kind of that grandpa sweater look. I've got the sleeves cuffed because it's kind of chunky, but it's got that like cable knit design in it, and I just have it in this tan color, but I know it comes in a bunch of others. So I'll try to link this below if it still exists or is very similar. I really didn't get this that long ago, and again, I kept my shoes the same. Again, you could switch to booties or something if you wanted. It's just not necessary where I live. Yeah, those are my 3 outfit choices. All right, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it is helpful or inspirational or something, give you some ideas for Thanksgiving, especially if you have kind of a more casual get together like my family does. It's still fun to kind of have an outfit in mind, even if it's not super fancy. Again, I just kind of pull things out of my closet that are like the browns, the blacks, the grays, the reds, the oranges, that kind of thing, and then just kind of do some makeup to match. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did. I would really appreciate that. Please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're updated of all of my upcoming videos. I hope you all have a wonderful week. The temperature is doing all kinds of crazy things where I live, so stay warm, stay cool, stay dry, whatever it is. I hope you're staying safe, and I will see you all next week. Bye.